So the second part of this lesson is to do with the chords. You've probably picked up a few chords from YouTube lessons, your teachers, your mums, uncles, dogs, cats, what's her name? Anyway, the point is that there's lots of common chords that appear in a lot of songs that you see today. So I'm just going to show you 3 chords that have commonalities. So, for example, you're playing a G. If you're going to play a D chord after that G, you'll notice that the D actually has the same third finger in place in this chord. Let me give you an example. Did you notice what the commonalities were? Well, so here's a G. Now when I change to this D, the thing you'll probably do is actually remove all your fingers just to play that chord. You might do this. I feel like that slows the process down. What you should actually try to do is play the G chord, then as you are moving your other 2 fingers, which fingers am I moving to get to this D? Well, I'm moving my first finger and I'm moving my second finger, and I'm also taking this 4th finger off, depending on which version of G you're playing. If you're playing the G with a D in it, which is an extra D in the chord, or the 5th of the chord, that's going to be a richer sound. But if you're playing a folk G, that's going to be your first finger, your second finger, and your third finger. I call it a folk G, but you might think differently. Anyway, so we have G, D, and then we have an A minor. Now, with the A minor, there's no common fingers, or as I refer to it as, these are called pivot chords. So being able to pivot from, say, one chord to another. So from D to A minor, you can't actually pivot very well. The whole reason for that is because, well, one, you have to relocate all your fingers. The way to combat this, I will talk about. So I think one thing that students struggle with is the ability to be able to comfortably change between chords when they're first beginning. One of the reasons I found, just through years of teaching and my own research, is just the fact that you're having to do 2 things at the same time. You're strumming and you're also using this left hand for changes. They will eventually become independent, but it just depends upon your learning process, your ability, a lot of factors. So what I found to be a good thing to do was if you break it up into 2 parts. Now, I'm right-handed, so I use my left hand for playing. This will be the opposite if you're a left-hander. You'll be using your right hand for playing. So you're going to use your left hand, and what you're going to do is you're actually going to change chord shapes just with your left hand. So you're actually going to look at where your fingers are and also visualize of what the next shape looks like. For example, if I have G to D, I'm doing, obviously I've got my first finger, my second finger, third finger, and 4th fingers. Then I'm literally just going to be moving my first and second finger over to the D. It's a bit tricky initially when you first do it because it's a foreign chord, not like a French chord or an Italian chord or anything like that, but just a foreign concept, You're learning a new skill, it's going to feel weird. So you got G, then you got D. The next 2 chords that I looked at before, you have A minor and you have C. So what I would do is I'd really just work on getting just the left hand changes, without any time. So you're not actually strumming the guitar, you're just literally using this hand to change. So you might do something like this: G, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4. So these are little things you can do. I can also say that putting on a metronome and putting the metronome on, say, 1 bar per chord is a good way to initially sort of push the momentum and get you playing. Let me demonstrate that. Here's a slow tempo at 50 beats. So I'm just going to play each of these chords. I'm actually going to do it in two parts. So I'm just going to play just the left hand, and then the second part is going to be me playing the actual chord, or just one strum per bar, as it were. So G, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4. As you change between these chords, you should try to change the very last minute if you can. Sometimes, I give students some leniency and I allow them to change, towards the end of the bar, just so they get the concept of changing the actual chords. So, you can go G, 2, changing chord, and so forth, if that makes sense. Let me show you what it sounds like with the strum. G, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4. You can also use a basic strumming pattern if you feel more confident, or if you start to get the hang of this. So I try to use a basic one, which is down, 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 up, or 1, 2, and 3, 4, and I'll show you what that sounds like. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and So I hope you enjoyed this lesson on 2 exercises for a beginner guitarist. If you like what you heard, or you like what you saw, please comment below or like and subscribe to this video. Thanks very much.